Friends, hello, hope you are well. Let's talk about Trump Media, DJT ticker for this one. So have not forgot about this stock whatsoever, and let's kind of break it down, see if there's still life, if there's still a play here with this stock. I'm going to say some positives, I'm going to say some negatives, so hear me out. I know there's people here that like this stock, and there's people probably watching this just because they hate Donald Trump and they hate this stock, and I get everyone's side on this, but let's talk about, as investors, how can we make a buck off this, whether we're shorting it, playing it, bullish, bearish. Let's go over every kind of concept for every kind of investor right now with this stock. It's important that you know what's been going on with the stock. The stock has been pushed a lot here in the past 6 months. Pretty much when we knew Donald was going to be running for the presidency here, the stock was really just up and down, up and down. And this is what people have been playing with it all, mostly this year. Buy, sell, just big trades of hands, big volume on certain days, and then we go through these moments of just being in the desert. Now, we find ourselves right now being in that situation again where the stock is slowly selling off. Now, the stock has been here before. This is nothing new for it. It has been down in the low 20s, and it's shot up violently in a good way, like on a rocket ship. But that came with good news. That came with something happening with Trump, all that kind of stuff. The problem that I'm seeing right now, and here's the problem, and I want to address this because the stock right now is still a FOMO stock. It's still a FOMO play. It's still highly manipulated, and that's not bad. There's money in there. There's money to be made with that situation. But here's what you have to understand, and this is the negative part that I'm gonna say for probably anyone listening. This is still a high play of a stock. So with that, there's not a lot of plays left at the moment to really push this stock. And here's what I mean by that. Donald has announced his VP, and here's the other thing. Just last night, Donald and Elon had a interview together, and it had over like 2 million people listening. It didn't move the stock whatsoever. The ticker didn't move. I mean, it was great publicity for Trump, but the media has completely suppressed the interview at this point. And now, this is not me trying to get political. This is just anyone with brains in the market right now and looking at the media, whether you're Republican, Democrat, whatever. It's very obvious that the media has, as we knew they would, completely turn on Trump. They're completely suppressing everything positive. And what's positive is negative. There's no positive right now. I mean, even right now, Kamala talking about she's going to get rid of tips. When Trump said that, it was like this doom and gloom thing. Now that she said it, it's, they found the cure to cancer. So this is what you're dealing with right now with Trump in general. The media has completely, once again, just completely turned everything he says into, death and gloom. So with that, it is affecting the stock. There's no doubt about that. And with that, that's what concerns me, is that the only pop we could see left in this stock is in November if Trump were to win. Now, leading up, I still believe, I stand by what I said, what I've been saying all year. I believe the stock will probably have a push here in late October going into November when voting will start to happen, just on the assumption that Trump will win here. Now, if Trump does win, the stock will probably go berserk. For no other reason than it'll just be a FOMO play, a hype play. People that don't even know what they're putting their money into will want to be a part of it. And just, there will be sharks in the water, and they'll know there's easy money to be made and prey on people like that. Good, great, grand, that's how things work. We're on the same page. So with that situation, this leads a lot of us to go like, okay, how bad can this stock bleed right now? What if this stock went to $15? And what if I took a huge chance and I put X amount of money in it under $20? Just to say it bleeds to under 20 here, which is very possible and more than likely what we're going to see here, because like I said, there's really no positive news with Trump right now. And the positive, you're not going to hear about it. Positive news with Trump, you're going to have to dig for it. But really, when I mean positive news, I mean like new news, to be honest. And there's not a lot right now unless Trump says something that he's some kind of law he puts into effect, that he says he's going to put into effect if he wins. but I don't think it's strictly just campaigning at this point. We are on the deadline, on the cuff of things happening, and pretty much each candidate they've done what they can do, and it's just up to voters at this point. You're watching Trump media here bleed out, and I said this 4 months ago, because we were all saying this wasn't like, nothing I came up with, but this is what a lot of investors were saying, that August is gonna be a rough. It's going to be a rough month, and it is. That's what we're seeing right now. The market in general has come back a little bit here because of numbers coming out that are better than expected, but I'm still not believing what's going on right now. This could change at a drop of a hat. So, even like personal friends, asking me questions like, where should I put my money right now? And I'm like, I just wouldn't trust this market right now. There's still a lot of investors, people that are very smart in the market right now, that are calling for, they think a recession is still looming in the air. Even with these numbers still coming out, they just, even people like Tom Lee right now. So friends, this is where I say the part that maybe no one wants to hear. To get into Trump media right now, I would not be in a rush. I would be looking for the teens. I would be looking for the $18, for the $15, because the media is highly, highly manipulated right now by Kamala's team, obviously. Okay, good, great, grand. I think that's something, all of us can agree on, whether you're Republican or Democrat. Trump could solve cancer tomorrow, and, the media would find a problem with it. So with that, we're seeing weak hands being bled off in Trump media right now, and that's not to be mean. That's just the reality of what's happening. People are getting impatient. They don't want it. They're getting scared. They're losing their money, and they want to get out. Especially with talks of a recession, and the market could potentially. The market is so delicate right now, so delicate. That's what you have to understand right now. Just because we're seeing stocks come back and AI starting to come back a little bit, spin its wheel, be very careful. This could change in the snap of a finger right now. This market is so delicate. I sold out of things a few months ago that I still have not bought back in yet, because I do not trust this market. And frankly, I am concerned about who will win this election, where I have money, in certain stocks. If Trump wins, it's going to be a different market. If Kamala wins, it's going to be a different market. And I think that's what a lot of people are wanting right now. And this stock right here, Trump Media, is a perfect example of that. So here's what you need to understand. And this is going to be the meanest thing I say, but it is not to sound mean. I do not say this to sound mean. This is strictly an investment comment. This is strictly just to help someone that is way too emotional in Trump media right now. You need to be playing this as a play. This does not need to be a long-term play for you right now. You don't need to be looking at this stock and going, man, by 2025, this stock is going to be $100. That's stinking thinking right now with what is going on. This is the reality. If Trump does not win this election, this company will bleed off and sell off, because the survival of this company strictly relies on Trump being the next president. And this is not to say that Trump's going to be bad at the company and all that. It's saying that the media will never use they'll attack it. They will dismember it. It will be under lawsuits. If we see a Kamala 4-year span here, it will be bad business, and they know investors will run for the hills. Look at where it's at right now. If you think Trump not winning the election, and then the survival of Trump media being above a $10 stock, $20 stock, that's ludicrous, because right now people are having weak hands in it. Imagine if Trump doesn't win the election. Really think about that. So I say that, like I said, not to be mean whatsoever. I say that to try to help you. You cannot get too invested emotionally right now with Trump media just because you love Trump and all. I get that. Trust me, I get it. There's companies that I'd love to invest in, and I get too emotional in it. And this is one of those situations where you've really got to check yourself. Are you in this for the money? Are you in this just because you want to say you're trying to support what's going on here? So friends, with all that said, listen, I'm looking for a shoot up to $40, $50. I just don't know that it's going to happen organically with this stock for a while. I think August is going to continue to give us I think August is going to turn bad here. I really do mean that. September will probably be better because we could potentially see rate cuts. Fantastic, great. But I think we're being lied to right now with this market. I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it at all. So if we do see another fall in this market, Trump media more than likely will bleed into the teens. But that is where you as an investor have to decide, do I want to take a risk? And it's literally a gamble at that point. You are literally gambling that Trump will win the election. And that's a whole nother conversation and debate that no one wants to hear me talk about. So although I do think they are lying about the polls like they did Hillary, I think that is the situation. So with that being said, friends, I will probably talk about this. I'm going to try to talk about this a lot more, but just please don't let yourself get too attached and emotional to this stock right now. It is going to take a lot more damage. This stock could shoot up to $26 tomorrow, and by Friday, it could swing back to an $18 mark. That is how vile and violent this stock is right now. There's sharks in the water. They know there's people in here that are way too emotional with it, and they're looking to take your money. Be careful with this stock. I'm hoping for a huge boom here in November, but we will see what happens here. Unless Trump comes out with some kind of plan that he is going to unleash, I don't see much room growing in this stock right now to get it back to a $40, $50 mark at this moment. Friends, take care. Bye-bye.